back finally for round number 4 in Malaysia Sim Racing League, F1 League, season number 7. And Nick, Imola, in line with real life GP as well this week. Well, I'm not going to pronounce the full Grand Premio, blah blah blah, MSC Cruises, made in Italy, whatever the long name is, right? We'll just call it the Imola GP. It's a track famous for F1, famous for GT racing as well, and I think I'll open it up with the usual question. What's your favorite thing or the least favorite thing about this track? Either way, your pick.
My least favorite has to be the Variante Alta complex because it's a bit tricky. It's very tight, and you have to make sure you get it right. It's one of the places where, at least for sim racing, most crashes happen given how everyone just gathers around there. The other place that we'll see a lot of overtaking or mistakes happening would likely be at Rivazza with the two corners. That one's where drivers usually will get to brake or they push a bit too hard and go into the gravel. So I think we'll get to see some actions there as well.
It is a downhill braking, so it's quite easy to lock up, on the way in, right, and run wide on the entry, which opens up the opportunity for someone behind you to get a better exit onto the long pit straight, the one and only DRS zone around here. So we will see a lot of overtakes on the straight, but don't discount the chances of overtakes at anywhere else around the track, right? Because, well, first of all, curbs, they're deadly, especially on a ground effect F1 cars. And then we also have track limits, which is going to be a big issue around here. Speaking personally from my practice session yesterday, I picked up 12 seconds of penalties from 10 laps alone. Granted, I was a little bit rusty from 2 weeks of not touching the rig, but that's a race the drivers will have to face today, Nick.
Yeah, given how you have a lot of corners that are pretty tight in terms of transitioning, it's where drivers try to eke out every last inch of the corner as much as they could, given how you have more than 1, 2, 3, 4 different corners that have a lot of switchbacks, from Tamburello to Variante Villeneuve, Aqua Minerali. All these corners require you to take as much curb as you can possibly make, just so you could get as much run down into the slightly longer straights that you go to for the next corner. It's where you gain the most time in the lap, and I think drivers will definitely want to gain as much advantage against their competitors in these kind of situations.
Yeah, true. And, well, there's a lot of corners here, which leads to some decently long straights, some shorter straights, and especially the long pit straight, right? We'll definitely see some action. Well, some is, to put it, it's a very big understatement. We'll see a lot of action here because, Nick, we have just confirmed that there will be rain in the race. So about 2/3 into the race, there's a period of rain confirmed, and that means we might see some split tire choices here at the start of the race, where the drivers will love to extend their stints or go for aggressive two-stop before the rain. It's all going to open up here, right? Finally, I think we're getting a rainy race in this season, and where better than Imola? It's quite known to be wet at certain parts of the year.
I think it depends. I think some of the drivers are still unsure that it's rain. They might need to think things through, need to figure out if they want to bring the more stable setup into qualifying, or they want to just go all out and just bear out the small little rain that they might get in the middle of the race. I think that's up to the drivers to understand what they want the most. As you see, most drivers actually out right now in the soft tire. Only 2 drivers out in the medium tire. That's Ernest as well as Charis. Both pretty quick drivers. Ernest unable to compete this season around against the faster drivers, but still pretty fast and pretty solid in F1. Pretty interesting to see why they are out in the mediums. Maybe just bank laps for Q1, but we'll have to see as the time goes on.
Yeah, most likely I'll guess it's a banker run on the mediums, save a set of soft tires for the race, and given that that's a guaranteed chance of rain, so you don't need 2 sets of medium tires for that extra strategic coverage in the race, right? Which usually it's the go-to way. So start on the mediums or start on the hards, whichever you want. You can take a short stint on softs. wait it out till the rain. So might as well use up all your soft tires right now, or even a set of mediums as he comes across the line. I think he has invalidated his lap time. We saw him going wide at Piratella, one of the corners that have been revised in real life today, just after FP1. We are racing right after FP1, so there are a lot of corners in real life where they have removed the runoff and replaced it with gravel traps. So this time around though, we do have all the runoffs here intact in the game for now. Not for long though. This game will be coming to an end right at the end of this month. F1 24 will be releasing soon, and things are gonna shift over as usual. Back to the action though, Nick. We're starting to see some quick laps coming in. The first one onto the top of the board is Raiden. Someone who had a pretty poor race last time out due to wheel issues and PC issues. We were speaking to him right before this. So what was the consensus from him earlier?
Well, he has definitely fixed, according to him, the PC issue. Hopefully he has designed much wheel issue this time around as well. Well, we can only see if this helps to boost Raiden's confidence for this season, especially for this round. But we'll have to see. At the end of the day, we all know that qualifying does not really equate much to race results. That's all up to the drivers who are able to dodge incidents, keep it consistent, reduce the amount of penalties that they get in the race. So it's really just up to see how Raiden is able to keep himself composed and fight for Sharez, which has just set the fastest time in this session with a medium tire with 1:14.6.
Well, that was my PB on the soft tires yesterday after I don't know how many attempts. So there you go, it's smashed out of the window already by Sharez on the medium tires. So there's at least three or four more tens, probably a sub 14s here coming from Sharez later.
Are you surprised? I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised. Not surprised at all. But look at that. Trying to challenge for that top spot is Levi, who just sets a P2 lap, who is racing for the Ferrari outfit today here. He is not the full-time Ferrari driver. It is Shahi who has been promoted to the second Ferrari seat, who is absent today, and as a result, we have Levi here jeopardizing in that other Ferrari. Interesting fact as well, Nick. I think we've talked about this just before the race. We had the previous 3 races where a lot of reserve drivers were ready to take a spot, but there were just not enough spots open. But then suddenly today, we have 6 drivers missing and only 5 reserves are able to show up, right? So things happen in league races, in real life as well. People are doing their things, and we have one of our stewards, Big Man Joe, who's also attending the real life Imola GP, Nick. So it's kind of getting into the busy part of the season. We will see a lot more drive movements as well.
Yeah, we should really actually ask him to see if we can find a way to wave at him at the cameras in real life Imola. But speaking of absence, I think we all noticed that one driver is unable to participate in qualifying today. Nafal has, during the course of the season of the week, has received a quali ban due to the penalties, due to the inquiries raised against him, and that's a bit unfortunate. But it is a penalty they have to serve this time around for the actions that they have caused. Hopefully, they are able to improve in the coming seasons as we continue to race with them.
Yeah, I'd say this was probably a race where Williams would have wanted both their drivers to qualify, right? Because they are right now second in the championship, chasing after Mercedes. And with the other star driver of Mercedes, Switz, is not showing up. And Aswan, who was here at the start of the session, is suddenly disappeared. So that leaves Alan, the only reserve driver for Mercedes today, to run the flag for Mercedes. So it is an opportunity for Williams to start ahead, but because of Naufal's impeding of Switz last weekend, right? And as a result, that qualifying means Naufal will have to start at the back of the grid, unless more drivers don't want to set a lap time. So it's his luck that if he starts any further ahead. 18 drivers so far.
We have one driver requesting to join back the lobby. That's 2 now.
All right. There you go.
Yeah, but 18 drivers right now on the grid. One unable to qualify. So 17 cars that will have to compete for a seat in. What I guess they want to do is the top 10. But given that we're doing short qualifying, there's only one session, they definitely want to be as high up on the grid as possible to ensure that they get a good run. But some of the drivers I saw just want to get away from the chaos that might ensue in the mid pack. Do you expect any sort of big chaos that might happen this time around?
Oh, well, turn 1 is always a contention point here, Nick. I think we've all seen that, whether it's in F1 or GTs. And given that, the first 2 rows of the grid, for the F1 grid at least, it is a standing start, right? They are slightly tilted, and that's gonna be a little bit challenging for the front 2 rows of drivers, the first 4 drivers, to get a straight launch, right? And we might see some drivers at the start having a little bit of trouble to maybe get off the line cleanly. And it's a long run as well down to turn 1, so slipstream is going to be pretty effective around here, and it's not exactly the kind of corners where you want to go too wide around here in Imola. It is a very traditional old school circuit, so it barely fits one car in most of these corners. As we are riding on board with Rono, you can see these are all the corners where you want to be single file. You can go side by side here, but then into the Villeneuve chicane, well, again, you have to be single file or you probably lose a lot of time, right? Those are happy as well. This is probably I'd say the second or third most favorite overtaking spot on this track, right? You get a good run coming out of the 2 chicanes, dive it down the inside and be happy. Piratella drivers will run wide here. Rono keeping it very safe. Aqua Minerali. This is probably the bane of my existence here, I would say. It's so easy to invalidate, so easy to run wide on the curbs. Variante Alta, there you go. A little bit conservative on the chicane, on the exit as well. And now it's a straight run down to Rivazza 1, followed by Rivazza 2. Keep it on the track, you don't want to invalidate here. And nicely done. Ooh, very close to the limits on the exit as well. And there you go. Just as we were talking about it, he did overstep the marker, invalidated his lap time into the pits.
That is unfortunate. Sorry to interrupt, there is a couple of drivers that want to join in. There seems to be some issues joining in. 29 and AJ both unable to join due to session issues, but we'll try to get them back in. But yeah, it's definitely a track where you can get a little bit caught up by the rumble strips, by the chicanes by the runoff. They are not the most grippiest runoff that you can get in the season. So you gotta be really careful when it comes to taking the absolute limits of the track. So far we've seen countless drivers pushing a bit too hard, going off wide here and there, invalidating their lap times. They don't really have much time remaining 6 minutes into this qualifying. They definitely have to make sure that they get a lap in as much as they can. And Levi saying a faster snap, faster than Sharius with a 114.5 in the soft tire though. So will Sharius try to answer that? I think we'll see.
I'm pretty sure he will attempt to answer that very shortly, unless he wants to stay in P2, save that soft tires for I don't know what reason. Might as well go for it, right? And take that elusive pole position graphics for himself once again, right? Kendra in P3 so far, Raiden in P4, not improving just yet. Maybe he's not going out just yet. We can see he is starting his lap now. Let's ride on board with him for a short moment. And just a quick update on the driver situation. Apparently, if drivers are not able to join, we will have a lobby restart for the race right after qualifying, so please stay tuned for that.
Alright, at least that's sorted out. But it's a bit unfortunate for the drivers though, unable to qualify, but at least they'll be in it for the race. I guess it will just be a very strong recovery drive for both AJ as well as Tuna. Which is a bit unfortunate, but hey, you don't win races in qualifying, it's just that you got a big ass ahead of you just to catch up to the rest of the grid.
Yeah, and well, this might just throw some spanner in the works as well. Like we talked about, there was rain predicted in this race, but if there's a lobby restart, the weather is all reset. You will never know what's the role of the day, right? It's going to be full rain, full winters, whatever it may be, anything in the restarted lobby. So that's a challenge for drivers as well. If they are prepared for the wets, they'll have to go for it. If they're not, then we might see some of the drivers shine through the day. So let's get back on track and see a few more drivers who are going for some hot laps here. Kendra on the medium tires, maybe just getting some warm up here, I guess.
maybe, but they're awfully close to the driver in front. That's the Ferrari of Kenrick. Hopefully they don't get impeded, but we'll never know. They don't. They are different teams, so I doubt they're communicating. So it's gonna be interesting to see how both of these drivers navigate through this. Is Kendra? Oh no, both our drivers are coming into the pits. That's interesting.
Interesting indeed. And the clouds are certainly looking gloomy, but yeah, there's no rain on the horizon right now. So we'll just have to go through this qualifying session anyway, and it's going to be a little bit unfortunate for Tuna and Egypt since they won't be able to set a lap time. But well, it is what it is sometimes, right? Things happen. Like in real life, right? Maybe you have to get an engine penalty, start at the back. So it's going to be a recovery drive for both the Mercedes today. But good news for them, neither of the Williams are really shining just yet. As I say that, well, Vargas proves us wrong, goes up to P3. There you go. It's pretty close in the top 3 so far. And Charis will like to make it P1 for himself. And still 3 minutes to go. A lot can happen here.
I mean, Vargas did set the fastest lap last week in Suzuka, so it's no surprise that he's going pretty quick up front, but we'll have to see how they drive this weekend to make sure that they keep their 3rd place, or maybe even higher if things go well for them. I think that we'll have to see. Oh, as we see Alan pushing a bit too hard there, running right at Variante Villeneuve. It's a bit ambitious, I guess. They might want to try the GT line where you just send the car over the curves, but definitely not something F1 cars will like here.
Yeah, tried a little too hard there on the entry and hit the curb, and there you go. You run wide on these ground effect cars. They don't like these high curbs at all, especially these yellow sausages around here in Imola. Whereas the flatter ones, like on the left hand side as we're going through the exit of Minerale, well, they're pretty much fine. You can accelerate on them a little bit, but not too much. You don't abuse them. 2 minutes to go, and shall we ride on board with potentially another pole lap here by Charis?
Oh,
Nick?
yeah, as they get ready up there. I was just gonna say the sausage curves, if you see them in real life, they're about quite high tall. So it will be really interesting if they do actually mount it correctly though. But as you see, Charis coming down to the back straight, up into the start finish straight. Just make sure that he has all the deployment as he could, coming down into turn 1. And now actually considered turn 2 at Tamburello, braking at the 100 board, I assume. Yes, he does. Taking as much off the curb as he can without hitting the sausages. Brady settled in, coming down into turn 5 at Villeneuve. Will he brake before or after? Brakes on the first turn before he goes to the second one. Nicely done. Now for Tossa.
2 tenths up already.
2 tenths up, yes. And very good exit here. Nice and calm, stable. Make sure that you don't lose much time from the wheel spin coming down into Pretella. Nice and tight. Make sure you don't run too wide here coming down into Aqua Minerale. This is where usually drivers lock up when they send it too hard. As he doesn't. He tries to maximize as much track limits as he can. Coming down into Variante Alta.
6 tenths up. There you go. And now coming
mounting
out
the
of
first curve really hard.
Variante Alta and a run down to Rivazza 1. And I think this is where you make or break your lap. Just you don't need to invalidate. That's all. Rivazza 2 on the exit, still pushing it, taking no prisoners today, and across the line, what is it going to be? It is going to be a 14 flat by Charis. We don't see a 13 today, but that's as close as you would get to getting a 13 today. Well, 14 flat, pretty good time.
You could consider it a sub 14.
Oh yeah, as sub as it gets, if that's even a word. Wow, alright.
Maybe it's 113.99999. Who knows?
Could have been.
Levi though might want to answer that as he tries for a run, but he doesn't have the energy though. That's going to be a problem for him.
Yeah, no more deployment. I think he's as good as done in that P2. Vargas has retired from the session in P3, so he'll be settled with that. No more drivers coming across the line to start their lap, but we have plenty of drivers going through the last few corners to finish their laps. Ayman has invalidated, and then the other half of Tomo, who is going through Rivats. Well, not this. There you go.
Very good.
That's
Here,
Tomo.
yes.
Coming out of Rivazza, now across the line. Where is he going to put his Haas? He puts it in P11 alongside his teammate in P9. There you go, improvement for him. And well, who's next? There's a Ferrari coming to finish a lap, and that is Kenrick. He is up by 2.5. Then this is gonna put him up somewhere in P9, 10, 11. How much can he improve? He goes up to P9, splits the Haas's, and takes P9 for himself. Mercedes next, and that is gonna be into the pits. All right.
Well then. Unfortunately for Mercedes, there's only one Mercedes driver this time around. Unfortunately, we don't have. Well, we do have AJ coming in later, but it's going to be a very difficult drive for the two of them. Both Mercedes drivers have to fight for a position as well as climb their positions back into points. It's going to be a pretty hard hit for the constructors' points this time around for Mercedes. I think hopefully they are able to start climbing back up next week, but it's going to be a pretty tall ask for them to try to grasp as much points as they could for the remaining season for MSRL.
Exactly. Now let's take a good old screenshot before things get funny once again. And yeah, there you go. The grid is set. Charis once again takes pole position in MSRL season number 7, defending his seat, defending his championship from last season. He takes pole by just over 4 tenths here to Kendra, who pips Levi for that P2 right now. And there you go, Levi in the Ferrari as well. Pretty good grid up there. Bagas in P4, Red in P5, Ellen in P6 of deputizing for the missing Mercedes. We will have a lobby restart very, very shortly, and that will be done to ensure the drivers that have disconnected will be able to rejoin. Unfortunate though, but Zanubi will start in P19 as he wants to do that. So AJ will be starting in P18, while Tuna in 17 and Naufal in 16. So there you go, that's the grid for today. And we'll be back shortly in about 5 minutes. So for the time being, folks, stay tuned. We will bring you some entertainment right after this for the main race. 33 races of Imola. Is it going to be wet? Is it going to be dry? You'll find out after this little break.
Is all the drivers in already?
Not yet, but we will be going through that on stream as well, just to speed things up. Yeah. All right. So yeah, folks, welcome back, and we are in the process of setting up the lobby once again. And well, unfortunate things always happens, as you know. It is a Codemasters game, so well, as much as we love to play the game, there's also bugs. Well, we can't get away with it, right? Nick?
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not. It's not getting better next season as well, as drivers are still being forced to join a hosted lobby instead of a dedicated server. We'll have to live through this, but I think our love for this game, not me, will continue to make sure that we stay alive in F1, in ES F1, and yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see how the new F1 24 is gonna happen. We're not sure. Through some people in the beta session, we have seen some feedback, some positive, some negative, some mixed feedback, as usually beta drivers do. Different drivers have, of course, their own wants and don't wants in a race, in a title. So it's definitely really hard to gauge it unless you are a driver that has driven and has requested some of these creature comforts or not. So it's definitely going to be interesting. I am interested though, Delvin. Are you looking forward for F1 24?
Well, yeah, kind of. Well, from I mean, we can't speak much of the beta, speak anything about it. But I can say I am happy with how the handling feels. It is a little bit more towards the realistic side, which some people may not appreciate it right out of the box. You want to try old setups on a new game, it's never going to work, right? It's similar to how whenever there's a major patch in any game, and suddenly you try your old setups, it don't work. It's the same old deal as always. So drivers will have to get used to it. There will be an adjustment period, but love it or hate it, I think there's always some factor such as price, maybe even bugs that prevent people from coming in. But then there's always going to be people who love the sport, right? And they love to simulate the sport aspect of it, right? Maybe not so much of the simulation of the physics, but simulation of the sport. That's what brings a lot of us back into the game, right? And allows us to do things like we're doing here, right? Commentary, and also a full-fledged, you can say, league racing, which is the closest thing you can get to driving a real car.
Yeah, as you see, some of the drivers still requiring an invite to join in.
All right, if you would read it out, sir.
For Lemon Boy, definitely needs an invite.
Copy.
Yeah, Alan, if he's not in, needs an invite. But yeah, as you said, definitely a lot of different requests and wants from a new title. But for me, I've always been interested in sim racing for the physics itself. Of course, F1 will never be my type of game, but I always respect the fact that it is.
Yeah.
It is a starting point for a lot of drivers. Without F1, I wouldn't be joining you here, and without F1, I wouldn't have roped you into ACC. So it's definitely a stepping stone that you can't just always clown on. At the end of the day, it is racing. We should never gatekeep sim racing as a whole. And I'm glad that we as a platform, as a community, can help each other learn how to be respectful on driving, take it seriously, but at the same time not too seriously. That's always important. It's important to always have fun. And yeah, it's both of the Aston Martin drivers are not around for now. But yeah, it's been interesting. It'll be interesting to see how these drivers get along with each other on track, off track, in the community. We always make sure that everyone's comfortable, everyone's inclusive. We make sure that you're all safe. That's the most important part. And yeah, it's good to be growing this community bit by bit.
I can't emphasize enough on that safety aspect, because there's always on track and off track as well, right? Like we'll have incidents, and Nick, I think you're a big advocate for this, and also probably the biggest critic on racecraft and all that stuff. And we see this every week. We like to say it, right? That Nick is always the more direct person, right, when it comes to judging racing incidents and giving advice. Whereas some of us are a little more, maybe we can tone that down, so it doesn't sound too bad. But sometimes you need to get the point across to the other person in the room and address certain issues like, intentionally crashing into people. That's something no one wants, right? No league wants it. There's also incidents that unintentionally happen due to experience or sometimes just heat of the moment. Or, in case of Miami 2 weeks back, it's just the nature of the circuit that promotes a lot of overtaking and battles side by side. Things can happen, and it's important for drivers and the organizers as well, to step in at the right time and, moderate things so that, everyone knows, hey, at the end of the day, well, number one, it's just game. Number two, you're not gaining anything out of it. If it's a paid competition, well, it's a, it's a different story, right, Nick? But we're all here on our free time, playing some games in our basements or attics or wherever we are.
We're missing 2 drivers right now. We're missing one of the AlphaTauris as well as one of the Aston Martins.
Alright, and
interesting.
the AlphaTauri would be... Who would be the AlphaTauri for today?
I actually don't know.
Oh well, he was just around here. Please check the attendance channel.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure it out for a while.
Should be a
AlphaTauri
reserve driver. Yeah.
Oh, reserve should be Elia. Elia's the one that should be joining us.
Okay, there you
As
go.
well as the Tuna's taken Haas, is it? Actually no, Tuna's taken Alfa Romeo, so we'll have the next driver taking over for Aston. Do you know who's the next driver taking for Aston?
There is no Aston driver for today, so that's the deal. Yeah, apparently.
So that's the missing driver.
Right, Elia is in, and that means we have the grid. So drivers, please wait as we are setting the grid right now. So Nick, if you would, oh, hang on, let me just get the screenshot for you.
Oh, for the positions, yes.
Yes.
I unfortunately was not able to screenshot it too well.
Oh, don't worry, sir. We've got it right here. And I'm making a screenshot of a screenshot, exactly what we need.
Yes. All right. To count you off on what we have, if you're ready.
All right, and here we go for the grid. All right, Nick, let's.
All right. So the grid we have. Just to recap, we have P1 for Charis.
P1 for Charis. All right, let me get the buttons corrected. F1, F2, yeah. All right, Charis
was up above pole at 9th.
All right, Charis takes pole for today.
Kendra takes P2.
Kendra
Levy takes P3.
To Levi. Yeah, Levy. That's a cute name. Levy. Alright, Levy takes P3.
Levy or Levi.
It is Levi, but I like the sound of Levy,
Bagas takes P4. Raiden takes P5.
Bagas takes P4. Raiden takes P5. Looks like his wheel issues have been sorted. Alright.
Alan takes P6 for the Mercedes.
Alan in P6.
Elia takes P7.
Elia will
Tomo
take
takes P8.
P7. Alright. Elia will take P7. Tomo will take P8. Yep.
Henrik takes P9. Devile takes P10.
P9. Alright.
Devile
Devile is Lemon. There you go. Takes P10. Alright.
Imon takes 11th. Ron takes 12th.
Iman takes 11. Rono in 12th.
Scientist in 13. Hidir in 14.
Scientist 13. Hidir is 14. Yep.
Zedwin 15.
Segment 15.
Tuna 17.
Tuna 17.
Tuna 16, sorry.
Tuna
actually.
16.
And then Zanu is 17th.
Alright. Zenu
as he retired.
Yep.
I assume Nalfa will be at the back because
Nalfa will be at the back for the quali ban, and
so it will be AJ and Tuna that's remaining.
Yep. So we'll give Tuna and AJ a position up, since Zenubi has requested to go to the back of the grid to accommodate our drivers that were not able to make the qualifying. So we will have Tuna in 16, we will have AJ in 17, we'll have Zenubi in 18, Nafal in 19, and then let's run through the grid just to be Double confirm. P1 Sharis. P2 will be Kendra starting today, and on P3 will be Levi. P4 will be Bagas. Ridden will be starting in P5. Alan in P6 deputizing for the Mercedes. Elia returning as a reserve driver today. He'll be in P7. Tomo in P8 making another reserve appearance. Kenrig in P9. Davile aka Lemon Boy in P10. That's your top 10 for today. And we have P11 will be led by Ayman Haikal. Alongside him will be Rono in P12, Scientist in P13, Lucky 13, Unlucky 13. We're about to find out today. Hidair is goated. Hopefully the P14 is a goated position for him. Zakwin in 15, Tuna in 16 alongside him. AJ after that missed qualifying, he will be in P17. Zanubi, respectfully seating the positions, he will be in P18. Naufal, serving his qualifying ban, will be in P19. And there you go. That is the grid. Let's confirm the changes. And let's just double check. Everything is in order. There you go. Alright. And looks like we are almost ready. So let's just run through these settings once again, ladies and gentlemen cars. And there you go. We are at Imola. It is going to be a 50% race. Realistic weather, dynamic weather, my bad. That means it's going to be completely randomized on the start once again, right? So everyone is going to be in the blind. No one knows what exactly going to happen. We will only find out what the weather is once the race starts, even though the telemetry is running in the background. And there you go. So we are ready, and let's give the drivers go ahead.
Yeah, we should be ready up for the grid. I hope drivers are ready.
There you go. Quick signal and everyone's itching to get started. 9:45 as it is. And 45 minutes usually is how long the race goes. And we'll still finish probably around 10:30-ish, the usual time.
It'll be slightly late, just ever so slightly.
Ever so slightly, indeed. But nothing too late, right? We still have the real life FP2 to catch up as well after that. That's probably fun. I know we are still watching after FP1 if Ferrari actually has the pace in real life to beat Red Bull this week. I wonder if Red Bull can hold on to their lead. But that aside, Nick, back on track.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how the weather shows up in this coming as we load.
Oh,
and it's dry.
It looks dry. I'm just gonna take a quick dry peek at the telemetry, but I dare not while the race is going on. So let's not play around with that. Oh, maybe I could. It is a 2-minute waiting period on track. So let's see if drivers are ready with their setups. It is a little bit cloudy, Nick. You can see in the far end there, the clouds are suddenly coming in. Maybe some rain in the race once again.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It seems like AJ has issues again.
Oh, man.
Before the start of the race. That is unfortunate. Seems like EA is not stable enough, huh? But FCC, hopefully they're able to join with the 2 minutes remaining. But a cloud doesn't always mean that's going to be raining. It could just be a little bit small overcast. We'll have to see as the race goes on. It's always up in the air unless the telemetry says so.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think we may have to forward the telemetry for the time being, and maybe just rely on the good old method of stick your hand out of the window and see if it's raining, right? Or in this case, in the simulator, we'll just ride on board and see, there's rain droplets or if the cloud's setting in, right? And yeah, we'll find out very, very shortly. Drivers will have 2 minutes on the grid to load up their setups. They will have the telemetry on their screen, of course, from the in-game weather forecast. So they will know whether it's going to rain.
Someone. It seems like someone started it.
Oh, well.
Elias, yep.
Well, I don't know if that's already 2 minutes or not, but we'll have to look at that after the race. For now, Nick, let's take it away for the race start.
And it's gonna be 5 red lights. And away we go. 4.
Oh, that's a drive-through for Tuna already.
It's another drive-through.
Exactly, it's
For
a jump
two
start
drivers,
for Tuna.
Zach as well.
Yeah, two drivers jumping the start, but Charis gets a good getaway. Kendra doesn't get a good getaway though on the soft tires. Now around the outside, retakes the P2. Charis running away. Few drivers going off track already, and that's exactly what we expected in Imola. Drivers going side by side and off track already in turn 1.
Yeah, it's definitely very interesting as you see drivers start to push themselves into Variante Villeneuve. As you see Tuna going out wide slightly as we come into turn 7 at Tossa. Already multiple drivers, left, right.
Oh.
As we see Mercedes into the wall as Alan got a little bit tangled up with the McLaren behind Heiko, I think. Or is that the Mercedes? Actually, no, that's AJ. Not sure what has happened, but a definitely interesting start to say the least for a few drivers. It's going to be a very long recovery for them as we have 31 laps to go into this Grand Prix. It's going to be not the finest race for Mercedes this time around, I guess, unfortunately. Charis taking a lead for this race. Already 1.3 seconds ahead of Kendra and Levi. Not sure what has happened to Levi though. Kendra though had a very good start it seems, but Levi already half a second behind Kendra, trying to make sure that he stays within the slipstream just so he could make sure he can get the DRS once it opens up.
Yeah, not many hard tire runners here, only 3 drivers on the hards, 2 on the softs. So everyone else going for the mediums here, playing it safe. The hards are pretty reliable in the race, but we'll get back to some action here. We can see the Haas of Tomo and Redden going for it. That's a 3-wide battle up ahead, going on between Ayman, Redden and Tomo here as we enter Variante Villeneuve. Oh, so close that Tomo to the back of Redden.
Yeah, and you have to remember the fact that you have multiple drivers in front of you. You gotta make sure that you account for the fact that you have drivers in front, or else you are gonna accidentally run into the back of someone. That's definitely not ideal for these drivers, especially when you have a long trap remaining. As you see, actually, an AlphaTauri actually trying to serve their drive-through in front in the pits. I think that would be
Tuna and Tuna. Yeah,
Zachwen.
Tuna has not served his drive-through yet. He will have one more lap to serve that. Oh, Redden runs wide. Redden runs wide. We've seen that in real life in FP1 just a few hours earlier. Drivers locking up into the Variante Alta, and there you go. Tomo takes the position away from Redden. Side by side they are at the back. They're not yielding just yet. We'll have to get an on board from Lemon here, who's trying to challenge.
Oh, someone's in the wall.
Oh, wall.
Elia spun, I think. Decided to exit off turn 18. Not sure what has happened to the car there, but slowly recovering from it. Is Elia, yes.
Oh,
as
he
you can
picks up
see,
a
penalty for
speeding
speeding.
Well, that's going to be a long pit entry, and well, he's already retired from the race. Not the way we like drivers to, bow out of the race. It's still a long race. Getting a penalty and whatnot. We don't really like drivers, retiring so early just from an incident too. But nevertheless, we have to go back to the battles on track right now. Plenty of things. Namely, we have the Williams of Nafal, who started in P19, has made his way up to P10 right now, Nick, in 3 laps, 9 positions up.
Yeah, it's definitely great to see them improving so much after having a quality ban. Definitely have a long race in front of them, but we'll have to see how things go for them. Maybe they already have a very solid strategy on what they want to do to have this great recovery drive, but still a long race, things could happen, especially some drivers with weird tire choices, as you see just now Alan in the softs, and only a couple of drivers in the hard. So we'll have to slowly see patiently as we already see a blue flag. I'm not sure that is Tuna in the pits, I think, that just came in. Or is that Zachwen in the pits?
It is probably Zachwen, and there you go. Zachwen gets a penalty into the pit lane. All the while, Naufal riding behind Kenrick in Sector 1 and 2, and in Sector 3 following close. Now gets the DRS, gets the jump on Kenrick up into P9 now. 10 positions up for him in the start itself. And next up for him is going to be Lemon, followed by Redden. So it's starting to, starting to come into fruition here for Naufal. The patience paid off in the first 4 laps. Starting to make up the positions. How far can he finish today? That's the question, right? His teammate up in P4, challenging for position in P2. So he's in a train right now, not exactly pulling away from Charis right now. Multiple penalties already coming in, Nick. This is something we talked about before the race as well. Drivers are going to be struggling for the limits today.
Yeah, as they try to push as hard as they could, as you see an overtake by Naufal trying to go it on Lemon, but unfortunately, usually not gonna happen. See drivers already trying to push as much as they can just to keep themselves ahead of the competitor, but they have to remember as well, there's no point being ahead of the driver if you're just gonna violate your track limits all the time. So
Right.
I'd say the smarter option is to let them by, work on yourself, and just try to recover.
Right.
As much of the
We'll
race
have
as you
to
can.
hold that for a moment though, Nick, because here you go. A four-man train here, and Rono decides to jump Kendrick for the P10. Can he make a move? Oh, I was gonna say he's probably gonna lunge it down the inside of the driver's head, but no, he thinks better of it and makes one move at a time here. Naufal and Lemon as well. Naufal has gained the position over Lemon here. Up into P8 he goes. So his recovery drive is getting better and better as the laps goes on.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see both rhythm drivers in front. That will be really good points if Naufal is able to make a extremely strong recovery drive before even the first pit stop. We'll definitely have to be looking forward for that. As you see, looking at the other constructors as well, Charis in front of the McLaren, we will see their teammate Ayman Haikal in P6. Kendra, unfortunately, has their teammate, Polia Scientist Ernest at P12. That's going to be a lot of pressure on Scientists just to make sure that you get more constructor points. Levi has their teammate Kendrick at P11, which unfortunately has 2 seconds penalty. As you see,
that was a big save there by Levi. What a reaction. We were just gonna ride on board with Levi for the overtake, but what a save by Kendra to not bin himself, and what a reaction by Levi as well to not run into the car. As a result though, there you go, Bagas has taken the opportunity to get past the Red Bull driver who had a little bit of a scare coming out of Rivazza too. Wow, okay.
That not as clean as he wants though. Bagas is now almost sliding in. I think he kind of nipped the end of the Red Bull just then.
Yeah, and a few more incidents there. Looks like there's something happening in turn 1. There is a Ferrari. There is Kendrick who has gone off here onto the gravel. Is he going to be coming back on safely? Yes, he is. Aswan seems to be back in the lobby as well, so that's good for him, but it's a long way if you look at it, right? I know he's not a driver to give up so easily, so he's going to be hoping for the safety car sooner or later.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see the drivers all try to recover. As you see, Sinus still struggling right now, trying to get their pace in, trying to get overtake on Zinu. Car seems a bit slidey, unfortunately. I think Sinus is just struggling a little bit in terms of grips against their competitors. Hopefully they're able to, get some grip from maybe just getting used to the car. But as you see, him trying to make a move on Zanu.
Oh, DRS chicken there. Sure. Beautifully done there by Scientist.
But is it worth it though? You just wasted much of time on there just to try to gain it back on the straight. I feel like it's a bit of a waste. It's a bit not thinking long term about it.
Yeah,
unless
but
you really
there's also the question about if you play the DRS chicken, you probably lose a little bit of time, maybe a second or two, but you get back a lot in battery deployment, right? You don't have to spend that much. So it's always a pro and con thing that drivers. It's a catch-22 situation where drivers will have to go for one or the other. Neither is going to be optimal, but you have to go for it some way or another. Back to the action up front, Nick. Quietly, but we see the McLarens this week probably mounting a title challenge after this race. Charles leading up ahead, and Ayman Haikal doing his best, as the second driver here, bringing up the rear gunner position here in P6. So that's good haul of points so far. For the McLaren team against the Williams team, against the Mercedes team as well. So it's a three-way fight that, it's still early parts of the race though.
Yeah, we'll have to see. As we see, I think that's Hidir going into the gravel right down at Puratella. That's going to be unfortunate for the Aston Martin driver, but it's going to be a lot of points. But as you see, I'm on Haikal trying to make a move on Raiden. That's going to be successful. As you see as well, Naufal just right behind them as well, taking position away from Raiden. Oh, a small tap on the back.
Is Raiden gonna do the good old switchback? He is.
Yes,
going
he does,
for it.
But does he have enough deployment for it? I think he thinks better of it and keeps it away just so he could, not compromise his race and let Naufal just continue on climbing up the ladder.
Right. We'll there's something happening here. That is Rono who has gone a little bit off track.
That is a
Wow, yeah,
will rejoin.
it's catching a lot of drivers. This track, especially Hira gets a speeding penalty for speeding into the pit lane. That is a little bit unfortunate. Here comes Kendra as well.
Oh my god.
Scientist has gone through. Kendra right behind him. Now Azwan, who's been slowly but surely catching up his positions as well. So he's looking forward to a recovery drive here today.
Yeah, definitely not the cleanest race this season of the season, but it is a very tricky track. So I think unfortunately a lot of drivers getting caught out. A lot of drivers usually they kind of forget the fact that you have to remember to practice your pit entry, practice
3 wide here,
what you
Nick.
need. As you see, 3 wide. As you see, both Red Bulls fighting for position, along with an Alpine. I don't think this is ideal for both Red Bulls, but it is the situation that we have right now. Unfortunately, we're not sure what happened to Kendra. Maybe I pitted in early.
Goes for it down the inside though in reverse one on Scientist, taking advantage of the kerfuffle here and goes ahead. But now on the exit, Scientist is much closer with that DRS ability. Can he make an overtake? No, looks like not. But up ahead though, still 3 wide. Aswan going for it on Kendra. Kendra and Zenubi, they're still holding it out here. Up to P12 so far for Aswan. Not much progress being made. But up ahead, let's quickly peek at the leaderboard here. You can see Naufal is already up to P5 and is only 8 seconds behind his teammate. So that is a good drive so far. And now we can see around the outside of Zenubi goes Kendra and makes the move. Aswan finds a switchback and goes up to P11 as well. A 2-for-1 position there. Oh, but he runs wide here. Whoa.
He almost forgets the brake. Zenubi unfortunately has to lift just so he won't collect AJ from this incident. But AJ able to go through it strongly, but you have to say as well, Zeno's been doing pretty strongly this time around. It's a position that no offense, didn't expect him to be in, but it's been doing it strong, and I'm pretty proud of him being so high up in the grid.
Right, and he's lost DRS to Azwan this time around, who is still trying to chase down Kendra. Up ahead, wow, we probably missed a good chunk of this battle here. They're going switchbacky back and forth, and now pulling down the inside, pulling down the outside. Now around the outside, Ayman trying on Raiden. These two mates have been racing each other here as well for quite a while, and in the AJ clan as well. So they are pretty clean. I've raced with them as well, so I know they're not gonna probably bump each other, but there's no love lost here, right? It's two different teams. Ayman is trying to do his best for the constructors here. Raiden is holding out his own as well in P6 and not too far off from the leading pack. But speaking of which, well, you can see the McLaren of Charis is far ahead. Levi and Bagas, they are still holding out that P2 and P3. Tomo in P4, and now he's holding off Williams. So both the Williams are charging an attack on the drivers ahead.
Yeah, as you see, Kendra getting another 3-second time penalty, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's Raiden's interest to make the car as wide as possible, not just World Constructors Championship, as well as just for his own sake. He definitely wants to keep that P6 as we see the drivers in front start to climb away from him, but how long can he keep Ayman away from him? Apparently not that long, as you see almost get hit the back as last minute move there, but Ayman able to get a move on Raiden. Now it's up to Raiden to see if he is able to keep it behind Ayman for the DRS on the back straight, on the final straight. He just has to make sure that he keeps it within a second to the driver in front for one lap.
Yeah, pit window is starting to open up, Nick. We can see a few drivers. Alan is the first one to jump into the pits, getting rid of the medium tires. Onto the hards, I presume, right now, as we'll quickly run by with him. There you go. Onto the hards. Aswan, his teammate, gets past him, so he still has to make his pit stop. He's in P10. He will go along a little bit longer, probably. Now, Alan's race goes to the end from here. Undercut attempt, perhaps, on a few drivers around him. We'll see how this lap unfolds. We can still see some drivers like Tomo on the medium tires as well, probably pushing. Maybe this is the lap they want to go for an undercut as well on the two Williams ahead.
I guess you'll have to see, given that most drivers on the medium track, even on the medium tire, it's going to be a very interesting and very busy pit lane. And it's time for us to see which driver gets caught out for speeding the pit lane. There has been multiple 5-second penalties for speeding the pit lane. There's also multiple 3-second penalties for track limits. So it's going to be interesting to see how each driver serves the penalty, as well as how much the pit lane is going to get occupied by competitors just changing tires every now and then.
Right, this is an interesting battle we have here, Nick. Levi on the medium tires, Vargas on the harder tires here. So it's definitely going to be coming down to tire battle here at the end of the race. Vargas will get the medium tires to use later on and possibly be a little bit quicker at the end, right? But Levi has the advantage right now, not exactly being able to pull away from Vargas. He got overtaken by Vargas for that P2 right now. And we can see him starting to struggle a little bit, albeit he has a lot of battery in reserve here.
Yeah, it might be also just that they might be slightly overdriving just because they have a driver in front of them. You usually can't see your markers that well when you have a driver in front of you. Not to mention that you are a bit more anxious in trying to keep up with the driver in front or try to get ahead. So I think the best thing for Levi right now might be to just conserve the battery or just go in right now for an undercut. You know for a fact that trap
no undercut
is pretty important.
No undercut.
Yeah,
I think
no
this is
undercut
going
right now,
for a re-overtake here. Is Vargas going to defend though? He just leaves the outside open,
nah.
a clean DRS pass. Probably gaining a little bit of time to Sharis, but Sharis is still pulling away. So it's probably a battle for P2 and P3 here right now as we see it unfolding.
Yeah, or if they are smart enough to work it out, if they are both quick enough, that is to work together, try to DRS each other every single lap, alternating lap, just so they could catch up to Sharis, which is at this point almost close to 10 seconds in front of them, which is not ideal for P2 and P3, but it's going to be an easy strolling for Sharis to be going through this race.
Yeah, here we have Kendra here though, on the fresh hard tires, just made his pit stop, getting held by Lemon here, so this is not ideal at all for the Red Bull driver on the fresh tires. He wants to get past this Haas as quick as possible and make up some lap time over the cars ahead for that undercut. But no, Lemon is putting up a great defense like Kevin Magnussen did in real life in Miami last week as well. And we can see here all through this mechanical section here, those fresher tires are definitely giving Kendra the grip. But
good run.
Go, Lemon. He can't defend the outside, can he?
No, he can't. Kendra gets past. Great driving from the two of them, as Lemon almost exceeds his track limit. Drivers have to be careful just so they don't get another track limits penalty like Kendra does. It's going to be very interesting to see how Kendra slowly climbs back up to the grid. Unfortunately, I think due to earlier incidents in the race, Kendra has dropped significantly from the top of the grid. I think it's going to be their interest to slowly climb back up as we see drivers starting to get into the pits. No, they're not. Drivers are still not ready to get into the pits. I assume lap 15 is when drivers might start to push it to get into the pits, huh?
Yeah, it's a pretty big pit window here to get off the mediums and onto the hards. The hards will last you the race, but again, the freshness of tires comes into play as well. Will you want to be quicker and get the undercut now and then fight for the gap later, or do you want to sacrifice a little bit of your early stints and then get the fresh tire towards the end possibly for that overtake, but at the risk of a safety car at the wrong time and suddenly you lost all the track position you need. Lemon, no, not Lemon, my bad, getting all the names mixed up here. Iman Haikal getting past Raiden once again into the Variante Alta and now coming out of that exit as well. Raiden is pretty close to Iman. This might just be a repass after a repass. Are they starting to work together here? As I see the gap to Tomo is just about fluctuating. The top two though, Levi and Vargas, I think they've got the memo. They are swapping positions with each other. There you go, both of them into the pits, and this is exactly like you said, Nick. Lap 15.
Lap 15.
For pits.
Yeah, it might be a bit too congested in the pit lane. I guess it'll be up to
a busy pit lane, Nick. You're right.
Yeah, up to the pit stops to see if they might get held up or not, and they do not. It's going to be very interesting to see drivers starting to come in, trying to bunch up. Some drivers might have benefited from an undercut, but that's a bit too far over at this point.
Speaking of the undercut, here comes Alan. 4 laps undercut though. There you go. The power of the undercut. He gets past two of the drivers behind, and side by side he comes out ahead of Tomo. And there you go. Alan has made up, I think that's 4 positions from that undercut, but now he'll have 4 laps all the tires towards the end of the race. So this is going to be his battle to battle it out, right? Aswan, his teammate stays up ahead, and there you go. Okay, let's cut back to the battle here. What's happening?
Yeah, trying to defend from Tomo, getting as wide as possible. Good defending from Alan, coming down into Peratella as both drivers, but Tomo, I think, a little bit too fresh of a tire, unable to get the heat in it just yet, but in lap or two, I think Tomo's going to overtake Alan with ease. They are the quicker driver here, but Alan can definitely put up a good fight, make sure the Mercedes is quiet as it could, just to make sure that he can defend Tomo from AJ, who is in front, who actually still needs to pit for in laps in the medium tire. It's definitely in AJ's best interest to come into the pits this lap, or maybe for another lap, maybe he's trying for an overcut.
Looks like he is going in, he is responding. Aswan, he is responding, and also Lemon has responded as well to the drivers around him, so he's going in the pits. Naufal is pitting as well. Where's Naufal gonna come out? Is he gonna get overtaken here on the exit? No, looks like he is not, and the overcut has worked for Naufal. Tomo has been held up significantly by Alan on his outlap. There you go, undercut, overcut, playing out as you can see right in front of your eyes, ladies and gentlemen. And now we see the lead battle here. Well, the P2 battle here still not over. Bagas will try to extend his stint for as long as possible. Levi is staying on as well. He knows his battle is now it's not with Charis anymore. It is with Bagas for that P2.
Yeah, but here will Levi coming into the pits? I think that is a yes. Oh, why is Bagas coming in though?
Wow, that's an aggressive undercut, considering he's on the hard tires to go to the mediums till the end. So this will be a good battle to watch on the exit itself, on the restart. Well, not the restart, might have jinxed it. On the pit exit, onto the second stint here, you can see a bunch of cars now exiting pits as well. Bagas coming out in P3 just behind Levi on the hard tires, mediums for Bagas, and a few drivers getting ahead. Kendra still, well, he got a pretty early undercut. Probably a two-stop with that compromise race that he had at the start. So he's up into P2. Charis just, well, doing Charis things up ahead.
But here's the question though, is it worth it? Because at the end of the day, he might get the jump on Levi to start, but his tires are going to fall off at the end of the race. Will he be able to hold off Levi as much as they could in the worn out medium tire? I think that's up to Bagas' ability to make the Williams as quiet as possible. But it'll definitely be an interesting fight to see as we see 17 laps. We have about 20 laps remaining, if my math is right.
Just about halfway through. Yeah, exactly. There's 16 laps to go. And right as we approach the halfway mark, most of the pit stop has been done. Our race leader Charis is in as well. Kendra, who we were debating whether it's worth it to go for the two-stop or not. It is a pretty long pit stop here, Nick, right? Even for F1 standards, 30 seconds almost lost in the pit lane because it's such a long pit straight, and you can lose a lot of time from that. And doing the two stops, you're not really going to recover enough time despite being quicker to recover that lost 30 seconds. So it's a risk here. And as we see a few more drivers, there you go. Levi trying to pull away already. Bagas doing his best to stay within that 1 second range here.
As you see, it's just not enough. They're a bit too far, but it's definitely interesting to see Levi having having a little bit of wide gap coming into the start-finish straight just then. Not sure what has happened. Definitely gonna be interesting to see them two fight. Alan though, trying to keep it as close to Naufal as he could, just so he could get away from Tomo, who is already 2 seconds behind him, but Alan already has a 3-second penalty.
Fastest lap of the race by Aswan, who is unfortunately down in P10. What would have it been if he was able to qualify much higher up today? Still a long way to go. 12 seconds, probably 15 seconds off his teammate here. So the Mercedes pair will have to get their act together and start moving up as soon as possible. Nick.
Yeah, what's even more impressive is that AJ, due to his issues with the lobby, was unable to even load his own setup. So that was the fastest lap on a default setup. So that's wow. Very impressive from AJ. That's gonna be something to look out for. And it's a bit unfortunate for AJ.
Probably some wing adjustment in the pits, Nick. That's most likely the best tool you can use to make an adjustment real quick. And I think he's made the best of his situation right now.
Yeah, it's definitely not ideal. I think they're gonna be cursing as the car locks up coming into different corners due to the unfavorable suspension setups from a default setup. But you just gotta make the best out of it. Make the best out of it.
Yellow up ahead. There is a Red Bull gone off track. Is that Kendra? It is Kendra. It is Kendra who has gone off on the exit of the Tamburello chicane before the Villeneuve chicane. And I think his old hard tires are starting to show some signs of aging.
Yeah, I think as you see Kendra locking up here and there. Oh, as you see they're going a little bit too wide. The tires definitely have gone with how hard Kendra has been pushing. That's one thing that we see drivers do time and time again, pushing a little bit too hard for their own pace. And unfortunately, while they can maintain the pace when the tires are fresh, it's not really sustainable for the drivers, and they sometimes just end up with pretty beat up tires that they would not like to race on at the very end of the race.
Right, now, once again, Mercedes versus Williams. Allen has gotten past Naufal, or is that Naufal catching up? Yeah, it is Naufal who is catching up to Allen once again. Up into P5 for Allen so far, so good race so far for him. Naufal will be looking to get as high as he could to back the maximum points for Williams today. Bagas steals that fastest lap away, just under 10th faster from who was that? Aswan's lap time. So there you go. One extra point for the Williams camp today. And onto the pit straight. Naufal, not so close just yet. Kendra pits once again for his second stop. He'll be looking to go on a set of mediums. Am I right? There you go. Medium tires to go till the end. So not all hope is lost for Kendra just yet. He will be on the quicker tires. 12 laps to go. He'll be probably the fastest driver on track. Probably barring Charis right now.
Maybe. We'll have to see as the time goes on. But
on the exit. That's close. That's close. That's close from Dominic.
Yeah, Lemon taking the position from Kendra, but also saying fastest laps don't mean that you're going to get yourself a podium. It's more about making sure that you're able to chain as minimal mistakes as you can over the Grand Prix that gets you the powerful stack. And I think Charis has proven time and time again, even though he's fast, you don't really see much issues coming from him.
Well, he just reminds us who he is. There you go, 15-7, fastest lap set by Charis already right now. So he's
in the hearts, man, mind you.
Oh yeah, and he's definitely stealing that extra point, every single point that he can get away with for this season. And that's definitely going to help him in his Drivers' Championship, and every little bit helps in the Constructors as well. His teammate Ayman in P8 having a little bit of trouble, looks like it. He was riding pretty close to Raiden early on after the pit stops, but he's dropped off a little bit, and now Aswan is only 8 seconds behind, so not over just yet. Not over just yet.
Yeah, definitely not over just yet until the checkered flag has passed, but it's definitely interesting to see. Maybe Ayman has lost a little bit of concentration, maybe lost a little bit of endurance, or maybe just the setup just is not compatible with the hard tire. That is one thing that we usually don't account for, is that some drivers just aren't as used to the hard tires as some other drivers are, and that really compromises their pace on different tire sets.
Yeah, that's definitely something that always comes into the play, right? The setup, whether you've gone for a high downforce or low downforce. If you go for a low downforce, obviously overtaking is so much easier, defending as well on the straight, but you virtually lose all the pace that you have in the corners. Now, battle for P3 ensues once again. Bagas on the back of Levi. So this time around, I think Levi on the hard tire seems a little bit more comfortable than Bagas is. And Bagas not able to close up in Sector 3 to even benefit from the slipstream. Only once you get into 6/10 range. Maybe Bagas is just holding his own here right now, waiting for the tires to wear out and see who has better tire at the end.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. But right now, if you're Levi, what do you think? What do you think Levi should be doing? It's one thing to be fighting for the car in front, but right now there's no more drivers in front. Levi has to basically be in the mindset of them being the lead of the pack, being the lead of the car. There's no one else to chase in front of them, but they do have a very strong competitor behind them, especially with the differences in tire compound. Do you think Levi should push as hard as it could just so they could run away from Bagas, or they should just bide their time and just hold out?
There are 10 laps to go though, Nick, I think. So, like I say, Levi is definitely having the better tire towards the end. The hard tires will be the better race tire towards the closing phases. Right now, I think it's thereabouts, the mediums and the hards. Bagas able to keep up in the corners, and on the straight, he's just about staying ahead, staying within touching range of Levi. But as the laps goes on, I think Levi is just going to get faster and faster. Although, look at this, right? Bit DRS, bit slipstream, 6/10 gap reduced to almost nothing on the straight. So is Bagas holding back? Is Levi pushing all hardest as he could? We don't know just yet. 10 laps to go. I think the advantage will start to play out in Levi's favor. But can Bagas do something? to to negate that, and that is the driver that has disconnected is that Kendrick. Kendrick has got into the pit lane and has retired out of the race. So that's another driver out of the race. This time we are still down to. We still have 15 drivers running out on track. No safety cars this year today. It's maybe a surprise, Nick, considering it's a track where we usually see safety cars.
It depends. There is a lot of runoff in Imola, so I wouldn't expect a safety car, but there is a lot of spaces. You see drivers spin out. We have seen drivers spin out in Revezza. We've seen drivers spin out in in Variante Tamburello. Aqua Minerali, we've seen drivers go wide, but overall, we don't see a really. Yes, we see another Ferrari driver right now in Sector 1. Was that Kendrick? That was he. I think they had Kendrick retired on track, and unfortunately has parked it at turn 1 just then.
Well, the AI card sometimes does that even if you retire in the pits. But yeah, I don't think that's an issue. Yeah, well,
even
that's one
with drivers
Ferrari down
retiring from the
though.
pits. Yeah, even with drivers retiring from the pits, you don't see the safety car come out. So I don't think there is a pretty high chance of safety car this time around, unfortunately. But it would have definitely been pretty sad to see Shara trying to panic just to get as much ERS as they could for safety car restart if that ever happens.
Well, he's in the driving seat right now, so he has nothing to worry. Probably the drivers that would have to worry is, these 4 drivers here, right? And Levi versus Bagas, Alan versus Naufal. These 4 drivers here, if one mess up and they'll lose multiple positions. And almost Naufal looking for a way through in the middle sector, trying to put Alan a little bit off his game here in the middle sector, but Alan doing his best so far to not get wavered by that attack from Naufal. 4 laps fresh
Strong
tires
lockups
for
from
Naufal.
Naufal. Yeah, but because here's lockups. I think the drivers, even though they are pushing it is fresh tires. The hard tires is showing to have not as much favorable grip as the drivers would like to have. So drivers need to really be careful with their braking, or else they're gonna chew through their tires in the race. As we see, AJ unfortunately have a 3-second penalty for track limits.
Yes,
Again,
something everyone will eventually fall victim to. And on the straight, you can see here Alan really having that top speed, or is he trying to break away? Looks like he is trying to break away from Naufal here, trying to break that 1 second gap and hopefully drop Naufal out of the DRS range. And so far, it's been working. And you see into the middle sector, the end of sector 1, into Toza. What's Alan gonna do on the exit? Looks like he is pulling off the gap. And yeah, Naufal, despite having the fresher tires, lockups, pushing a little too hard for his own liking probably.
yeah, I think all drivers at this point do want to get onto podium. There's only limited amount of podium spots remaining. Even more limited when your fastest driver is seconds away. So everyone would like to get as much points as they could. It is a race after all. It's not a stroll in the park. So everyone's trying to push it their hardest. But there's only 6 laps remaining. Definitely time to push if it's any time to push, I guess.
Yeah, Alan's attempt to break away didn't exactly work out, so he's expended pretty much half or more of his battery tank, and now he'll have to recharge. Oh, there we go. He spun off, and that is Alan into the wall. That's his end plate out as well. There you go. We were talking about mistakes, and that's exactly something that has happened. So Alan will have to box for a fresh wing here. That will give way to Tomo here, and Redden get promoted up to P5 and 6 and brings the Williams pair up to 3 and 4 once again. You just can't seem to separate these Williams drivers. Somehow or other, they always end up next to each other on track. This time it is Bagas who is still holding on that P3.
Yeah, I think if you had to come down to say the driver team with the drivers that have the most consistent both drivers, that will definitely be the Williams. Both Williams are pretty strong, as you see. Kendrick just retired. Not sure what has happened there, but even though they have retired a long time ago, so Raiden though, pushing Tomo. Oh, that is not ideal for both drivers. Not sure what has happened between the two of them, but
exactly. And Tomo's lost
definitely not the best way to overtake someone.
Yeah, true. 2 seconds lost from Tomo. So is that something that happened? Did he disconnect or something? We wonder what's happened there. He is recovering the gap though.
To be fair though, there was multiple contacts between Raiden and Tomo, so might have tried to lift just so they don't crash into the wall, which is very smart of Tomo. It's better to lose the position than to
Oh, look at that.
That's
Yeah,
the
there you go.
position.
Kendra made
Yeah.
a move on us one here. So Kendra, just to remind you guys, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Kendra did have to pit early on, and then now he's doing a two-stop on the fresher medium tires, gets past Aswan into the chicane, and look at that, already 1 second pulled off. And up ahead, Ayman Haikal in P7. And if I'm bold to say, I think he's still looking for a P5 finish here by the end of the race. 5 laps to go.
Definitely we'll have to see how it goes. P5 maybe possible. We'll see. But we'll have to keep a close eye on it, I guess.
Yeah. Final 5 laps of the race. We have Sharis leading away as usual. Not much to say about it, other than domination, right? 2 seasons in, and he's doing what he does best. Levi Tiger Pants, he's still holding off Bagas here. Both drivers are starting to come to the end game phase, right, where you want to recharge your battery. Bagas holding off a little bit better here, so I think Bagas has been chilling all the while, and he might go for a move here. Looks like he is on the attack. Let's ride on board with him. Around the outside though, can he make it stick?
Oh, he does.
He does. There you
For
go.
P2.
P2 goes to Bagas right now, Nick.
With a lot of battery remaining, does Levi have enough battery though to try to take an overtake for this race? I think we'll have to see. I think they might want to also time it just right. Right now you only have 4 laps remaining. Bagas will definitely be in his best interest to pull away, but if Levi is able to keep it up, as we see, Kendra tried to make a move on Ayman Haikal as coming out into turn 2. Will he make the corner stick? Yes, he will. Ayman will definitely have to do the overtake later as well.
Easy
But as I was saying,
yeah,
Levi will have to really time his overtake well and keep it as close to Bagas as possible, just so he could push back P2 at the very last moment.
Right, while Levi is still riding behind Bagas's gearbox. 410s, I think he's doing well so far. We are on board with Kendra here. You can see, just about a lap ago, he was a 10th, not a 10th, a second and a half behind Ayman Haikal, and he's made easy work of that and already closed in on Tomo now. So that gap to Raiden is coming down very quickly. So only 4 seconds separating him and that P5. He'll probably have to build up another 3-second gap in order to make sure he doesn't fall down due to penalties. Was that Sharis? Now that's Bagas and Levi trading positions once again. Levi getting ahead now. He wants to keep the lead this time.
Yeah, it's definitely, we'll have to see. It's a bit too early, I suppose, for Levi to overtake Bagas, but you definitely want to make sure that you have your risk calculated just right. 29 laps remaining. Given that you have 3 laps remaining, that will mean that Bagas will have to swap positions twice. Levi swapped positions once. Levi should have definitely made that calculations long time ago to make it stick, or will Levi just use all his battery just to pull ahead as much as he could? I think that's a really tall ask for a car in a hard compound tire. Bagas might have the strategy all along, but it seems that Levi's deploying as much battery as possible as the gap slightly increasing. And also Bagas has a pretty poor exit. Can he stay within the 1 second with the DRS detection zone? I think that is a yes, but it's going to be very hard for Bagas to close in on this DRS.
6 is the gap. He will gain benefit from slipstream. He gets DRS as well. He's holding back. He doesn't want to go for the attack right away. He knows he's got the top speed. Probably he just needs a good exit as well. Look at that. Even without deploying any battery, he's made up that 6/10 gap easily as you like it. So definitely some mind games going on right now between these two. So the podium battle is not over just yet, ladies and gentlemen. P1, pretty sure we know who's gonna win it. P2 and 3, they're still fighting out cats and dogs. But let's turn our attention real quickly. Almost missed it. Kendra, there you go. Now has gotten past Tomo and up into P6. Still holds the 3-second time penalty, and he's only 2 seconds behind Raiden right now. And I think he might just be at the back of Raiden at the end of his lap, if anything's to go by.
Well, to see, Kendra definitely wants to put as much gap as possible against Tomo, just so he could get secure his P6. But if he is able to pull even more gaps against Raiden, then he's gonna definitely have a chance to secure P5. That is definitely ideal for both of them. Raiden actually Kendra doesn't even have to overtake Raiden. He just needs to be within 3 seconds of Raiden to get his position. But he has to be 3 seconds ahead of Tomo just to make sure that he secures that position as well. That's going to be a very weird predicament for Kendra, just to make sure that he is able to get the position that he wants.
Oh, Tuna has disconnected. I wonder if that's going to matter anymore with a lap to go. Let's do our best to invite him, and even my game's kind of hanging on for dear life here. We can see, oh my goodness, it's not loading at all.
Yeah, unfortunately, connection issues do rife this server as it always does. As you see, whoa, a little bit late on the move by Kendra on Raiden, trying to eke out the last little bit of DRS as they could. But he has made the move done.
Exactly.
It is fresher tires.
Both of them having the 3-second gap, 3-second penalty. So as it stands, both of them are clear of Tomo, so they will keep their P5 and 6. Can Kendra keep it clean though for these final 2 laps here? We'll have to turn our attention to the battle for P2 right now. Sharis has started the final lap, and the rest of the podium is not settled just yet. Is it Bagas? Is it gonna be Levi? This is the final lap about to be started here. So this is the final overtaking opportunity. Let's ride on board with Levi Tiger Pants, the Ferrari driver.
He might have the strategy down, but Bagas is never gonna deploy all of it.
This is it. It's coming in on this.
Will there be any strong defending? No, there will be not. I think Bagas has given as much space as he could to Levi. Unfortunately, there's not much defending that he could have done for it, but
there you go.
It's up to the both of them to see who can deploy the most energy as efficiently as possible across the entire track.
Yeah, and DRS proving once again super powerful there on the exit, and Levi waited for the opportunity, and looks like the P2 might be his, assuming he keeps it clean, no more penalties, no more mistakes. This will be his attempt, but Bagas still super close there on the exit of Piratella. This is probably going to go down to the line. I will quickly cut back to the exit of Rivanza 2 and across the line once again for the nth time in the season. Sharis is your race winner today, ladies and gentlemen. And well,
25 seconds of gaps between the two of them.
Oh no, look at that. Bagas has picked up a 3-second time penalty, and you know what? I think Levi might be just breathing a sigh of relief right now that he's not having to defend any harder right now. But well done though, well done Levi and Bagas across the line. 2 and 3, they will round up the podium, and what a recovery drive from P19 all the way up to P4. Qualifying ban or not, I think this guy has shown us what he's having today. Definitely a podium contending pace for today, but circumstances played out. 3 and 4 for the Williams once again. Kendra, whoa, trying to be a little funny there. Will come home in P5 after the 2 stops. Well done, well managed. Raiden in P6. Tomo is coming home in P7. And there you go, Ayman Haikal will come in P8. Aswan after a unfortunate qualifying session as well. Coming home in P9. Mercedes 9 and 10 today. I think damage limitation, Nick, what do you think?
Definitely very strong damage limitation. Unfortunate for AJ, no setup for them in the race, and also for Alan as well. Multiple spins this race. Unfortunate for them. At least they're close to their teammate, but it's definitely not ideal for the Mercedes pair.
Right, there we go. The race has been concluded. Was a little bit anticlimactic with that restart, shall we say. We were projected to have rain in that original race, but after the restart, probably some drivers are relieved to not have any rain, but no stoppages as well. So it was a clean run till the end. We saw plenty of strategies, softs, we saw mediums, we saw hards, 1 stops, and a couple of 2 stops here and there, for compromise strategies. A few incidents, drivers not making it till the end. It always happens, Nick. And Imola, that's Imola for us, right? We can even see the incident tab is extra long today.
Oh, it's gonna be a long processing for the stewards, but it has been a very interesting race for sure. So I'm glad most drivers are able to finish the race, but definitely a little bit more cleanliness would have been desirable.
Yeah, we'll definitely hope that drivers do not just retire on lap 1 or lap 2 just because there's one or two incidents. After all points, all positions are awarded points. So if you're retiring out of nowhere, it's just giving away free points. There's a reason why all positions are given points, right? So it's to encourage everyone to finish the race and help it out in the drivers' championship. But with that out of the way, Nick, I think it's time for the interviews for today, and let's see, which drivers are ready to be with us for today. The first one in the lobby we have Tuna, so let's get Tuna into the interview for today. And joining us, Tuna, hello, how are you?
Hi, hello.
Hey, how are you? We had I think we had a little bit of a compromise qualifying here today. Yourself and Azwan were not able to join the qualifying due to lobby glitches and whatnot. So of course, apologies from the organizer side. But talk us through what was your mindset there. Knowing that you'll have to start towards the back of the grid, didn't have a qualifying lap. What was your plan heading into the race, and how did that turn out?
I anticipated to start at the back already because I didn't have much pace in the time trial. So, but I accidentally got a jump start when someone else jumped.
Yeah. We saw something happen. Was it someone else you mentioned that just jumps the start? Am I right?
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm not sure who it was, but I jumped because of them. So yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly. Nick, questions for Tuna if you have?
It's unfortunate that you got some issues with connection at the end of the race. How was your race like, given that we see so many incidents happening left, right, and center around the front and the back of the grid? I guess it would have been very chaotic for you. Was your race at least somewhat enjoyable?
I got to do some driving. I guess I got a wing damage on the first lap, I stayed at the back for the whole race. It was fun watching the others race.
That's definitely very unfortunate.
Yeah, but we definitely have to commend you for going through all the laps, and despite that last lap disconnection, you definitely finished the race within the 90%. So that's one thing we always like to commend drivers as well, right, Nick? Finish a race, you never know what can happen at the end. A point is a point, 2 or 3. It definitely helps in the experience in the drivers championship as well. Thank you so much, Tuna. We'll hope to see you again. Yep. We were not expecting to see Tuna again this week due to the reserve rotation that we have. Unfortunately, a lot of drivers couldn't make it, and at the same time, we didn't have too many reserves available as well. So Tuna got his second opportunity in a row to showcase what he can do. We'll see Tuna possibly next week, and we have our podium sitter here to join us. Let's invite Levi Tiger Pants, or as we accidentally call him, Levi Tiger Pants. Sounds cuter. But Levi, how are you? That is an amazing P2 in the home race for Ferrari in the home race. Well, talk us through what happened there on that pit stop phase. It was a little bit interesting going all the way, and I think the race long battles definitely kept us excited as well in the comms box.
Yeah, well, I was deciding whether to go mids to softs. Then I decided against that, so I pit probably a lap later than I should have. But it was fun racing.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
That's I think one of the times where we know P1 like usual. If Charles gets away, he's gonna get away, right? But there's always battles between you. We saw it in last race as well, and you got your opportunity again today. So I know you are eagerly waiting to get a full-time seat on the grid, whether this season or next season. I'm pretty sure you'll love that. But it just goes to show, right? If even if you're the reserve driver, I'm pretty sure the full-time drivers here will be happy to have you around for that extra constructors points.
Yep.
and one last question. We definitely noticed your battle with Bagas, super clean, right? But what about throughout the rest of the race? Anything special that happened that we missed today?
I had a couple moments where I nearly spun going into Aqua Minerale, but no, it was mostly just that battle with Vargas. And well, yeah, lap one first turn was a bit sketchy, but
Oh
it
yeah,
worked out.
it was pretty tight. 3 wide, 2 wide into 10-1, lap 1 in Imola, the usual.
Yeah.
I got one though. I got
Yeah.
one small thing. Do you remember that small little miss that you had against Kendra? How was that like to get on your perspective?
Wait, when?
When Kendra almost spun in front of you and almost
Oh
cut the
yeah,
Oh,
wing.
yeah.
yeah.
The Red Bull, the Red Bull.
Yeah, yeah, that freaked me out a little bit.
Definitely a change of pants required for that one.
Yeah, yeah. All worked out in
my
the end.
goodness.
Yeah.
That definitely scared us as well, because we were about to ride on board with you to see your overtake on Kendra, and then just as we switched camera and
Yeah.
suddenly everything just went hello bent, and we were like, what happened there? That was really
I saw he was-
some good reflexes there.
Yeah, I mean, I saw he was struggling. I wasn't expecting him to oversteer that much through that corner. And yeah, I just had to react in time. I nearly spun by turning that quick, but yeah.
Yeah, it was a pleasure watching you on track as well, Levi. Once again, thank you for giving us the entertainment, first of all, and thank you for keeping it clean. We love to see that, as always, from the drivers. Next up, we have Scientist Ernest. Let's invite him into the media room as well. Scientist, how are you? How are you today?
Sure has happened, but
Oops.
he's a bit busy.
Oops, didn't realize I was added to the call.
Hello, Ernest's chat as well. Welcome to the media room. So, Ernest, a good showing, I guess, this time around. Maybe not as expected, with the midfield battles going a little bit tight. We saw a long train here and there throughout the first stint. What was your plan going into the race? Did it work out exactly like you wanted?
I mean, going to the race, I couldn't really find a good setup. So I guess the main objective was just to not bin it, which I think I did really well. Definitely really struggling with post Adrian Newey car struggles.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's a bit more time on the table, but there was a lot of instances where I had to bail out of Aquamarine Rally and the chicane because my rear was snapping left, right, center, and obviously I went into gravel a lot. But so definitely there's a lot of time left to begin. But P13, I mean, it was a clean race. I liked the battles with Zenobil, and yeah, I think it was a pretty successful clean race. Yeah.
Yeah, and we saw from your teammate as well, they had a compromise race at the start, if I'm right. They had to go on to the 2-stop, and they put on quite an overtaking show there towards the end for that P5. If you know anything, what happened, what went wrong there for your teammate today? Otherwise, he was definitely looking for a podium for sure.
Yeah, I think a really big shame Kendra only managed the P5. But I don't know what happened at the start. But definitely, I think big kudos to him for getting his way up to P5. Yeah, so we make a really good pair.
Yeah, definitely. And next race though, Monaco, Ernest, Monaco.
Oh, God.
Well, it's gonna be a meme fest, but how do you rate your chances over there?
I don't know, maybe 9. It's only turn 1 that I really struggle, so I think the rest are quite fun corners to drive.
And if there's rain, will that even make it even worse for the day?
Oh yeah, obviously. But it'll be fun though, cause it'll turn into a drift session.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely going to be a drift session regardless. Possibly a night race, we've been hearing some rumors of a night Monaco race. Maybe you want to keep an eye on that. So thank you, scientists, for once again joining in for the post-race I was going to say commentary, post-race interview. And now we have our driver of the day, Naufal. So let's invite Naufal into the media room for today. Driver of the day, we saw a great comeback from you, Naufal, today. I think penalty or not, quali ban or not, you definitely showed you have the pace today. 3 and 4 once again for Williams. Do you think the win was there for you today if you had a qualifying session done?
I think my pace is yes like that, and I think impossible to get top 3 for me.
Yeah, we were seeing your teammate Bagas fighting with Levi, right, for the whole race, right? So if you were there, maybe it will be a 3-way fight, right? And maybe 2 Williams against 1 Ferrari would have been better. Do you think?
I think if I join the battle, it's more entertaining for the viewer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is lah.
Yeah. Nick, any question for our driver for the day today?
Not much. More of a congratulations of showing such a very strong pace from the climb. It definitely would have been very entertaining to see you battle for the front, but unfortunate with your penalty. Still glad to see you climb so strong though. So definitely looking forward to see your remaining races here in MSRL.
Yeah, and we will definitely look forward to the constructors standing after this race, Naufal, because it looks like Williams definitely got a big amount of points today. Will it be enough to take the lead away from Mercedes? We will find out only after this weekend. But for now, thank you, Naufal, for the overtaking show as well. And driver of the day goes to you. Congratulations. And folks, that will be it for our interviews for today. Nick, over to you.
Yeah, it's definitely been a very fun Imola GP here in MSRL. It has been amazing to be able to commentate with Delvin, and it's been amazing to have viewers coming in as well to support your favorite drivers in MSRL. But if you want to just do more outside of supporting your drivers on stream, you can join us on Discord in MSRL. Links in the description below. Our next race is Monaco. Maybe it'll be wet, maybe it'll be dry. We'll see how things go, but it'll be definitely interesting to see the parking lot that is Monaco Grand Prix. But for now, I think all of us would like to enjoy remaining practice sessions of Imola this week. I think, is it happening right now?
Yeah, FP2 is going to be live in about 15 minutes. We will find out if Ferrari truly have the pace this weekend to get a 1-2 maybe, or at least beat Red Bull to the top step of the podium and win in the home crowd. That's all you want as the Ferrari driver. We will get back to that very, very soon. And it's been a long day here. And if you would like to join this league race as well, there's only a few races left. We are 4 races down, 8 to go till the end of the season. There are plenty of reserve spots available. You may join us by clicking in the link in the description, joining the server, and we'll guide you through the registration process. And we'll see you around probably. Final words before we say goodbye, Nick?
That's all. And if you enjoy this, like, comment, and subscribe. We'll have a race next week. And yeah, it's been fun. It's the two of us, Delvin and Nick, signing off.
Ciao.
Bye.